Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. For a start, that's the new stretch Bentley Bentayga. For such an expensive car, I don't like that front end. It just looks so bland. And I'm not particularly keen on that colour either. Anyway, those of you who've been following the news will know about the JP Morgan report that by 2030, 45% of women in the Western world and maybe globally will be still childless and single. Now that has started to have an effect trickling down over the governments with the falling birth rates, and even the video bloggers now have started to mention that 45%, with Sandman being the latest one. So looking around about the low birth rate for information, I came across this. Now, as you can see, it's CBS News, and this was done on the January 12th this year. And as you can read, US birth rates drop as women wait to have babies. It's just a generalized report, but there's one or two little things about it which are somewhat interesting. It says most women having an average 1.3 babies and an increasing percentage giving birth at age 35 or older, i.e. post-war women. Now, women that have babies later in life, they're going to have more difficulty than women in the 18 to 25 year range and their prime fertility. My mother was 38 when she had me, so I guess I'm one of the lucky ones. But it shows that women have finished riding the cock carousel, wasting their prime and most fertile years, and at age 35 they want to settle down with a beta and then have babies, but it's not working out as they expected. It says during the last decade we have seen a huge shift in and how women give birth. Report on a report, 56.7% of women aged 15 to 49 had at least one child. As of 2019, the most recent year including births is generally concluded to increase women from 35 to 39, i.e. post-war women. Birth rates also increased for women in their 40s from 1985 to 2019, data shows. And there's the fertile range, 18 to 25. There's the wall, and that's when women are having babies. Notice they ride the cock carousel in their most fertile years, then they decide to settle down. It says, simply put, most women are just waiting until they feel they are ready. Reasons for the delay are varied, the report says, and they include the pursuit of higher education, i.e. college, and a massive debt, increased labour force participation, bigger tax take, changes in familial values, i.e. no-fault divorce, relationship instability, women suddenly finding they're fed up with the guy that they've married, and financial considerations. The research also shown that women who wait tend to be in a better position economically and in a more stable home environments. Well then, why are so many women on TikTok saying they can't find a decent guy? Almost half the women who gave birth at age 30 or older had a college education. In other words, they put their career before children. And so the big question should be asking, are women going to have babies when they want? And there's a continued trend towards Americans having children outside of marriage, the report found. And then it goes on about it, but the drops in birth rate also promoted concerns about negative consequences from the tax base and workers in an aging American society. We need to have a long-term stable workforce to sustain our economy. Blah, blah, blah. In the labour force, a longer period can help mitigate the effect on the economy. It's starting to have an effect. Could this be called the MGTOW effect? You tell me. Now, to support that article, on Bloomberg UK, there's a video. I'm not going to play it because it's 6 minutes and 49 seconds long, but she says all what this article says, and the American authorities are starting to get severely worried because of the fall in birth rate. One of the solutions that they came up with is migration. But all these migrants coming in got the skills to maintain the US economy. It says, but there are catches. The development economist Lant Pritchett says population decline is a mild way to describe what could be a global demographic crisis. The problem is not small. He said falling birth rate could upend economies. Last week, China reported population decline for the first time in 60 years. Now, this is USA Today, and I couldn't find a date, but it says the world's most population country has a drop of 850,000 compared to 2021. So Chinese population matters, blah, blah, blah. Fewer births in China will lead to economic slowdown, manufacturing recession, universal bankruptcy, lots of debt, and will also lead to higher prices and high inflation in the US and EU. Now also Japan is suffering. This was done on the 24th of January. This is CNN. Japan's Prime Minister issued a dire warning about the country's population crisis on Monday, saying it was on the brink of not being able to maintain social functions due to the fall in birth rate. In a policy address, Fumio Kishida said it was a case of solving the issue now or never, and that it simply cannot wait any longer. And Japan has one of the lowest birth rates in the world. The Ministry of Health predicted it will record fewer than 800,000 births last year for the first time since records began in 1899. And there's the Prime Minister. The trends are driven a global demographic crisis. South Korea is even in a worse crisis. Japan's economy has stalled since its asset bubble burst in the early 1990s. Well, bear that date in mind. The country's growth slowed from 4.9 to 0.3 in 2019. So, 1990. This is what also found for the US birth rate from 1950 to 2023. Now, you can adjust that date. Now, third wave feminism started around in the late 1990s, so I've put that in, and 2012 is when fourth wave feminism kicked in, and as you can see, down goes the birth rate. All men are bastards. We don't need no men. So let's just change that date to today. You can see down goes a birth rate in America. Is there a link? Maybe. I don't know. But if you drop down here, United States historical birth rate. Now, third wave feminism started late 1990s here. 0.30. 1998 it hadn't kicked in, and then 1999, third wave feminism kicked in. MGTOW started more or less on 2000, just a first little feelings about it. Third wave feminism. MGTOW kicked in proper around about 2008. See, low birth rate, because women are not having babies. Then there was a bit of a spike, probably because of the economic boom. Then 2012, fourth wave feminism kicked in after the latter end of the economic boom. Just had a little bit of a respite. Babies that were conceived around about 2011, 2012. And then it really started to kick in on 2014. MGTOW started to really get going around about 2015, as you can see. 0.9, 0.9, 4, 994. And then 2019, when MGTOW started going global, look at it, and it's down to 2023, 0.09% for the United States. Does this prove that the MGTOW effect is having an effect on that? Maybe, maybe not. But one thing is for sure, the authorities in America are worried because of the drop in birth rate, and American women are not wanting to have children until the post-war, after they've had the fun. So this is going to have a dramatic effect, and the mainstream media in America are starting to take notice, but none of them at this date are mentioning the M word as in MGTOW. All the M word they want to talk about is migration, but not the reason for the low birth rate. So anyway, I might have a look around, see if I can find any more on this, but I think we're on the 10-minute mark now. MGTOW obviously is having an effect, but you just don't want to face it as yet, because MGTOW is the elephant in the room, which is a reaction to third and fourth wave feminism, which is also the elephant in the room. I think we're done it now. You know the routine, people. Like, dislike, comment, subscribe. It's completely up to you. So until next Monday, that's it. Bye-bye.